Today, I received a screen setup from OFIYAA, and this is, well, I guess it's called OFIYAA. It comes from a company called, well, this. Okay, for me, it's a strange name and a strange design, but it shouldn't be written off immediately. So let's open this up and really figure out if it's worth the price tag. Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review. Check out the social media listed above and the description for some extras. Now, just as a disclaimer, this was sent to me for free to review, with a deadline for publishing the video. I had about 5 days with the screen setup to do a review on it, so everything you hear is going to be 100% my opinion. The people that sent me this were given early access to this video, but this video has not been modified since then. Keeping these screens are going to be my only compensation for making this video. Know that all my reviews are 100% my opinions and never influenced by any outside person or company, regardless of what I'm getting for it. I make videos only for you, the consumer. Now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, let's check out this dual screen setup. We start with unboxing the screen, which is pretty straightforward. This was sent from Hong Kong and it actually came here pretty quickly, and it is set in this nice and secure bubble wrap. Once we get the box out, there isn't really too much on the box other than some ways to use it and what the specs are. We get two 11.6-inch screens that support USB-C and HDMI to plug into a computer. These are 1080p 60 GHz displays that are supposed to only require 5.5 watts of power and allow for up to 85 watts of output. But once we open up the box, we find the warranty card, which they offer a 12-month warranty on these screens. I assume mine is pre-released because the product certification is not filled out. Generally, when you receive those, this should be already filled out. For me, I don't mind, and you'll see why later. There's also an instruction guide, but honestly, most of it is pretty straightforward. This will work on pretty much anything that supports USB-C or HDMI out, like Windows, Mac, Android, you name it. Then on both sides, you get two cables for both screens. Two short HDMI cables and two even shorter USB-C cables that support video in. This means that if you plug it into something like a MacBook or a USB-C Windows laptop, you can actually display simply with the USB-C cable, which is pretty cool in my eyes. Honestly, this is a neat and simple unboxing experience, so now let's check out the screens. I am sad, however, that they didn't package this with the storage bag that you're supposed to get. The design is a little bit lackluster for me, but they are going for the universal design, so black is probably the perfect choice. Maybe they could offer a white model or a different color, but that's not the worst. The way this installs on your screen isn't the worst either, and it definitely is really sturdy and heavy. Yeah, using this on your lap is very difficult and probably not fun, given the fact that the screen kind of just falls back. But you can move the other screens to help with the weight. Even then, the top is still very heavy. Once you start using the screens though, it does get better. These screens are matte displays, but really for the size, you shouldn't really expect the best quality for everything. I also set these to 1600 by 900, even though it does support 1080p, because it looked a little bit better that way. The 1080p is just too small for me. The look isn't the best, but it does get the job done, and at the price, I wouldn't expect anything to really blow my mind. The fit and finish actually isn't that bad. Looking at this device, plastic is the main material, but there is some metal in front of the screen, which is surprising to me. The inside is not that bad either, with the screen kind of looking like it was pulled out of a cheap laptop, which is reasonable, and a nice looking logic board for the I/O. It was somewhat of a chore to get to this area, so I wouldn't just write this off as being slapped together. The buttons, however, do. Going back to the attachment piece, it actually works pretty well, and it feels really durable. Hopefully the spring system doesn't fail over time, but I'm thinking that it won't. Overall, this isn't that bad of a product, even though it does kind of seem like a generic design in my eyes. There was definitely some thought put into this, and I definitely appreciate that. Now, everything is cool, but how usable is this? Well, you do get the option for one or two screens, with two being the optimal usage case. You can attach it to the laptop or leave it off to the side. You can have one vertical, which isn't really useful for me, but it will be for some. There are dual USB-C ports, which is interesting to me because it does support USB-A, but the inputs are not high enough for more than just that single USB-A port. This is simply because there are 2 power ports, and maybe if they had 3, it would have worked a lot better that way. However, it does support pass-through charging, so you'll actually be able to charge your computer with the screens over USB-C, but obviously it's going to be a little bit slower than just plugging it into the computer. Another interesting thing is that with Samsung DeX, I actually needed to plug the screen into an external outlet to run DeX. This might be because I'm using the Fold 2, but either way it's something to consider. But there are a few things that I noticed about actually using these screens. There are dual speakers, but you can only run one set of speakers on the Mac. But even then it's okay because the dual speakers aren't that loud and they're not good for that matter. However, this is pretty common for monitors in general, regardless of the size. As for the brightness, it's perfect for like a desktop, but it's not that bright at all. It's roughly 220 nits, which works, but in comparison, most laptops run at 300 nits, or in my case, 500 nits. Given the portability, it all makes sense along with the pricing, but if there was like a built-in battery for the screens, it might help with some of the issues that I have with this setup. Still, this is a nice combination for someone who needs more space, like putting some text on the middle and having a screen on the side, or working on a video and giving the full workspace for the player, and having the main screen for the editing process. This is something I actually love about these screens, and this is the point of those screens. They were made to give you extra workspace, and that's exactly what they do. It's not entirely made for gaming, but you could still possibly expand on that idea. Anytime I see products like this, I have to ask if the price is worth it. For the early price of $249, I would say yes, the setup is worth $125 each screen cost. I keep seeing that the MSRP is going to go up to $500 when they are launched, and honestly, that seems kind of high. Mind you, these are screens that add some wear to your GPU, so it won't be perfect for those who want to push their computers to 100% and have extra space. But it does make normal tasks a lot easier, giving you multiple desktops that can easily be pushed to one side. Then with the added I/O, this is definitely more than just something to grab your money and leave. This is a dual screen setup that actually has a purpose, and I'm glad I was given the option to review these cool but small screens. I plan on using these from time to time because honestly they're actually pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can add a kickstand to this because having it like this makes it somewhat scary. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching my brief review of the OFIYAA tri-screen setup. Make sure to check out the links in the description to see how to order these screens, and let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section or message me on Twitter. I get bored over there. Also check out the other social media listed above, subscribe and hit the bell button if you like the channel and want to see more videos. Thanks for watching.